looking across the river valley in Edmonton, and Walter looks to Eric and says, "So, have you ever heard the urban legend about the guy who fell through the Moutard Conservatory?" Not realizing this is not an urban legend, this was Eric. Done. Yeah.
Wow, that sucks. Did
Sucks
he
to be
live?
that guy.
Yes, so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Hey, you live?
May he rest in peace.
Marry a ghost? I don't know. Who knows?
Oh no, ghost husband, he's a ghost. What will you do? He's incorporeal.
Once upon a time, there was Doge.
Oh, I can't be exasperated at that.
And then there was Person with Doge. But then Doge went away. Did okay, Doge in bathroom.
Oh,
Did find Person.
hooray.
Then there was Doge. The end.
That's not an exasperating
It's a weird story. Hey, Kathleen.
But
Hey, Kathleen.
Yeah?
There's a question from the chat
Yes.
that I think you might be well equipped to answer.
I could give it a shot.
No, it's fine. This is from Chaos Descending. He's saying, "Dear Dr. Graham, what is the deal with this passive voice thing you keep referring to? You seem to hate this or at least avoid it. Why is this a thing with you?"
Okay.
It's not. First of all, it's not just a thing with me.
It's
A lot of
Kara
people
is
really.
nodding
Yeah, Kara's
her head.
nodding furiously. The passive voice is no good. But Kathleen, just
Okay.
Sorry. Are you guys in the middle of something?
yeah. What's up?
Well,
It sounded like you just had some sort of gas problem.
there's this TV outside in the hallway that's just playing infomercials. And there's this one called Flash and Go, which does laser hair removal. And Tara's in it.
Really?
She
In it?
She was in it. She's a modeling gig because she also does modeling because she's Tara. Like a year ago, and there was this bit where she's like, and we've been trying for it to come back up so we could take a picture of it. That's why there's a loud group of us out there. So I thought if we couldn't get it, we could just say Tara was in a Flash and Go commercial, and then the chat would figure it out in 5 seconds.
All right, fair enough.
Flash. I
get
know.
to work, Chad.
Okay, so the passive voice is, you know what, I'm gonna have to use the best example, which is I think the Star Trek example, Graham. You know the Wesley Crusher example? Okay, so the passive voice is a bad thing that you should not do in writing because it makes what should be an interesting and an exciting sentence a very boring sentence with too many words in it that basically obfuscate the point. So, for example, there is an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation where Wesley Crusher is working on some nanites and they escape. Oh no, and then they cause havoc and they get into the warp core and it's bad. And that's the plot of a Star Trek The Next Generation episode. It's not like it turns out fine. And then, but the problem being, Wesley Crusher, trying to shirk responsibility for the nanites, says, Graham, you could probably quote this exactly, correct?
Well, because they got out because he left the lid off of his off of his experimental capsule where they were being stored, and he says the lid was left off the capsule and they escaped.
No, that's not. No, it's not even. And they escaped.
Oh, it's just the lid was left off of the capsule.
Yes, the nanites were let out.
Yeah, the
right?
nanites were let out.
So it's like that's what we call the passive voice, where you're trying to remove all of the action from the sentence. So it's really bad because it's too wordy. It obfuscates the point. That makes it less clear to the reader, and it sounds bad, right? Like, which would you rather hear? Like, the lid was left off, or I left the lid off, or something like that. So that's why you should never use the passive voice. When you write essays in university and you have somebody proofread them for you, half the time what they're doing is saying, no passive voice, no passive voice, no passive voice. It's actually really hard for me to come up with an example of one.
Exactly.
Because I try so hard to avoid it.
The mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made. An officer kicked him, so he fell down. So that he fell down.
The chat found the commercial, but I haven't
We're
found.
looking for Tara.
I haven't found Tara in it yet. It's also half an hour long.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they found him.
Sounds like they've found her.
They're too loud. Can you tell them to simmer down?
Everybody needs to simmer down.
Can you tell them to simmer down or bring it in
We
here?
found it.
I heard. Could they gear down?
Sorry.
Could everyone just gear down?
We just found the picture of ourselves. Sorry.
Let me see. Let's see the picture.
Okay. She was so excited. This is her after she used the lasers on her hair so she can have friends now.
Did you just look up and
realized it was like, was it you that noticed it? Yeah. And you're like, I'm in that.
Well, I was like, I think
Saw her face.
so sorry. That was. Am I interrupting?
No, why is everybody out there having a great time?
Is it this commercial?
Okay, so
This
what
is
happened?
some kind of insult, I'm not gonna lie.
It's
I was
the
Skyping-
silk and.
I was Skyping with my husband really
Yeah,
quickly,
that's what
and there's a
we're
giant
watching.
TV out there that's showing like the
I'm
news.
so excited I can't even.
And when it's not showing the news, it's showing random infomercials. And I look up and I saw one for Flash and Go, and which is a horrible name. But I remembered that about a year and a half ago, I filmed an infomercial for this, and I like looked once, maybe a month after I filmed it, just to see if it ended up online, because like you want to know when that stuff about you ends up online. And I didn't see it, and I was like, great, they must have not used my footage because they get like tons of stuff and whatever. So I assumed that it was done. I did not know that I would show up in a Canadian infomercial for Flash and Go during Desert Bus.
This is
Which is
a
fantastic,
really terrible
by the way.
picture of Tara. She's the after. Look how happy she is, and her hair is like swooshing back and forth as she looks.